Hey everybody, welcome to Harmon Garage. I'm Aaron, and it is a very humid day here in Alabama. Got the underboob sweat going, feeling motivated, and it's definitely crunch time. We're down to less than 2 weeks to have this thing here. Old Rumrunner on the road, driving 9.5 hours to Norman, Oklahoma. If you don't know why this truck has to go 9.5 hours to Norman, Oklahoma, it's because I'm taking it to the truck gathering. I'm also sponsoring a show, April 15th, Norman, Oklahoma, Lander Chevrolet. If you're interested, spectators are free. All the truck spots are already full. You had to pre-register, so sorry if you wanted to go and take your truck, but you can still go even if you don't take a truck. So this is the first year they're doing this show. It's some buddies of mine that are putting it on, and they really want to have a good, big show. So I decided, if you haven't seen this truck before, I decided about a year ago or maybe not quite a year, but when they first started talking about this show, I said, okay, I'm gonna get this truck built, and this is the one that I'm gonna take. And in between other projects and everything else, I've been working on this truck here and there when I had time and money. Got the motor trans. I just put the drive shaft in. It's low. I lowered it. It's got new tires on it. I'm close, but not comfortably close enough for less than 2 weeks to get it done. So I've never heard this motor run. I've never started it up since I got it. I bought it from a friend, was told it was good, but I don't know. So what I'm gonna do today is, my transmission mount is in, but it's not bolted to the cross member, and the cross member is not bolted to the truck. So I'm gonna go underneath, get the cross member bolted in, get the transmission mount bolted down, and then I'm gonna run my fuel system. So I got fuel coming up here from the tank, and then I'm just gonna do some jumper wiring. I'm gonna wire the battery to the starter, the engine to the battery, run a hotline to my coil from my battery, and put a push button starter on there. I just want to get it kicked over and hear it run, because I'm at the point that if this thing don't run today, it's not going to that show. So I either have to pull a motor out of a different truck and stick it in here, or decide that I'm taking a different truck and get started on getting one of them going. So that's the goal for today. I'm gonna get a couple things buttoned up underneath, then we're gonna run some wiring, some fuel lines, and we're gonna try to fire this thing up and see what happens. All right, well, I've been terrible about filming, but it's crunch time and I gotta get this thing done. Today is Thursday, and I'm leaving next Thursday morning to head to Oklahoma for the show. So I've got like 6 working days, if I work through Easter and everything else, to get this thing done so we can get over there. Yeah, I'm tired. I've been putting in a lot of hours, but it's paying off. I got underneath there to put the drive shaft in and check out fuel lines and stuff, and I remembered that my transmission mount needed to be replaced. My transmission cross member wasn't bolted in, yada yada yada. And then I figured, while I was down there, before I started it, I wanted to do some kind of exhaust for it, because it only had mid-length headers on it, and I didn't really want to start it with just the mid-length headers. And on this style truck, the gas tank is in between the frame rail and the drive shaft on the driver's side. Other than that, this thing's got more room than I've ever had to run an exhaust system, except for on the driver's side, the fuel tank's in the way. So I took on the task of turning old exhaust pipe that I had laying around into a Y pipe. I Y'd it, took it back, put a muffler on it, and I turned down, and of course, I didn't film any of that. I didn't take any pictures of it while it was out, anything like that. So I'm gonna crawl under the truck here. I got it jacked up, and sorry about about the noise to get that open for a little bit more light. But I'm gonna crawl under here, show you guys the exhaust system I built that I'm actually pretty dang proud of. I ain't never built a Y pipe from scratch before. So I did that. I ran fuel lines from the tank to the pump correctly with a filter and everything in there. And then I just ran a really crude hose from the pump up to the carburetor. I've got my ignition wire here for the coil. I've got crude ground. Got a positive battery cable hooked up, so as soon as I get done showing you this exhaust, we're gonna fire her up. So let's see what I can show you. So there's my turnout with my muffler. I got 3-inch, 3-inch, 3-inch. And then up here, I got, I'm not even sure what you guys can and can't see, but I got pipe running across here, angles over, goes up to the header. Got a pipe that comes straight here, angles up, goes to the header. Got a merger right here. It goes into the 3-inch. And yeah, turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. So we're going to see if this thing wants to play nice this morning or not. So we'll get our battery hooked up. We'll get our push button. Sorry guys. We'll get our push button and our coil wire hooked up. Now I just gotta find, there it is. Hit the button, see what it's gonna do. Battery's a little low, but sorry guys, it's hard to start this thing, keep it running and film at the same time. She's trying to run. All right, hold on 1 second. I can't do all this while I'm holding you guys, so I'll get it started and then I'll start the camera back up. Okay, like I said, it was just a crude setup to get it to start, but there it goes, she runs. There it is. Exhaust sounds pretty good. It's not smoky or anything. It's running a little rich, but it's also, engine's cold. So I'm happy. I know it runs now. So I'm gonna make a list. I gotta run to O'Reilly's first thing this morning. Get a bunch of parts together. I need belts, I need hose clamps, I need some heater hoses and stuff. So we're going to go get what we need and get started. Hopefully today we can make some big progress. All right, well, I've been working my tail off and not filming at all, but I'm keeping you guys updated and I have to get this truck done. So I was just gonna do the bare minimum when it comes to wiring, like headlights, tail lights, brake lights, and charging and starting. But considering that the next 7 days or 10-day forecast is showing rain around here almost every day. I figure I better have wipers, better have turn signals to drive 10 hours just so they don't mess with me. So I'm getting ready to start the wiring, which I've been putting off and putting off and putting off because I keep thinking it's gonna be bad, but now when I think about it and what I actually gotta do, I'm not gonna wire the heater or any of that stuff in for right now. If it gets cold on the way to Oklahoma or the way back, we'll put a sweatshirt on. So anyways, since I updated you guys this morning when I fired it up for you, I got my whole cooling system done. All the hoses are hooked up, have hose clamps on them, all that. I rerouted the way I had this hose run, so I need to just pull that off and shorten it a little bit. I got my fuel line permanently routed. I got my clutch master cylinder, my new line, and my slave cylinder put in. Got them bled out, so the clutch is all set up and working. What else did I do? I drained what little junk was left in the transmission, filled it up with fluid, flushed out the fluid in the rear end and filled it up. Finally got belts that fit, got them put on and tight. Yeah, I don't even know. I've been getting a lot of stuff done, but right now I'm at the point where pretty much everything in the engine compartment is done. Everything underneath the truck, except for bleeding the brakes, is done. So I'm down to wiring and interior. So I'm gonna try to start the wiring today, get as much done as I can. I'd like to be able to start the truck with a key. So I'm gonna get back at it, and I'll fill you guys in when I get some more done. All right, well, I haven't updated you guys since yesterday morning. Today is now Friday, and gotten a lot done. Been terrible about filming, like I said, but I'm really in crunch time, and I just gotta get this thing done. But cooling system all done, upper hose, lower hose, all has clamps. I rerouted my fuel line, it's good. Heater hoses, I put ball valves on them, because if you've ever had a heater only vehicle, you know that as long as there's coolant flowing through that heater core, it's pumping heat inside. And if you put ball valves on them and shut them off, then no hot coolant goes into your heater core, and it helps keep some heat out of the vehicle. So that's why those have ball valves. I got belts finally that are the right size. Got them put on. Power steering full of fluid and bled. New clutch master cylinder, new line down to the slave, new slave, full of fluid and bled. And I've been putting it off for a dang year, but I'm finally working on the wiring, and I'm making some headway. All these wires here are my wires that go to the transmission, fuel tank, and rear lights. These are my wires for my wipers. These are all my front lights, and this is my engine harness. All my gauge wires, sending unit wires, choke wires, charge wires, start wires, everything. So I'm pretty much, I've got 1, 2, 3, I've got like 4 more wires I gotta get kind of routed in the direction that they're going and lengthened to where they're long enough to reach where I need them to. And then once I get that done, I will be able to start hooking stuff up, get all the wiring out here knocked out, and then on the inside, the only thing I'm really gonna have to wire is the multi-function switch and the gauges, I think. So we're making progress. I want to try to get the wiring done today. Don't know that it's going to happen, but I'm going to give it my effort, and I'll update you guys in a little bit. All right, it's time for another update on Rumrunner. Be honest with you, I've been working all day, every day. Well, at least as much as I can, outside of family stuff and whatever. But sorry, felt like I had to sneeze. Anyways, it's Sunday, April, I don't even know. Sunday, April 9th. I'm leaving Thursday for the truck gathering in Norman, Oklahoma. So I've got 4 work days, including today. My wife's not very happy with me because today's some kind of holiday that she wants me to be home for. So we got to do what we got to do, but I'm going to show you guys where we're at, what I got done, and then I'm going to get back to work. So everything under the hood is wired. I got all my sensors, all my power that needs to go everywhere, my wiper motors, everything to the lights in the rear, everything to the lights in the front, my headlight and fan relays hooked up, my fans wired in, my control board wired in pretty much for everything. Got my pass-through plug all wired. Got a circuit breaker on the ignition system just in case. I got my pass-through for the inside all wired. It's got all the wires in it and they're just laying there. And now I have to start hooking them up. So most of my connections are over to the steering column or the dash, which isn't a big deal. That's another thing I'm working on. I've got my dash over here and I am pre-wiring the dash. I'm wiring all the grounds together, wiring all the power for the lights together, wiring all the ignition powers together. So I've only got 3 connections to make once it's in there instead of having to make a bunch. And then I've got all my sending unit wires that are gonna be right there that I'll just have to hook up to each gauge, which is no big deal. So I've been making progress. I haven't been very good about updating, but I'm down to crunch time and I have to get this done. So I apologize for the lack of content and the fact that I'm not really showing you anything I'm doing in this video. I'm just updating you, but I'm running out of time really fast. So I'm hoping to finish the wiring today. But I was hoping to finish the wire yesterday and I was hoping to finish the wire the day before. So we'll see. Today has to be the day. I have to get the wiring done. I pretty much only have to do the inside and there's not much more I have to figure out. So once I get the wiring done, got to put the rest of some kind of interior in this thing and then bleed the brakes and get a windshield put in it. And I'm pretty sure that's gonna be it to get me to the show. So bottom of the hood still needs to be painted. Don't know if I'm gonna get that done before I leave. For one thing, it's actually sunny today for the first time in like 4 days and not raining, but it's still not gonna get warm enough to paint. And I don't wanna take it off, shoot it with paint, slap it back on. So it may stay green for the show, I don't know. But I'm gonna stop rambling. I need to get back to work. I'll update you guys in a little bit. All right, well, it's late Sunday afternoon now, and pretty sure I got all the wiring done. There's 2 or 3 little things I gotta iron out when I power everything up now. My electric fans and my headlights are coming on, which means I just have the trigger not hooked up right, which I can sort out. No big deal. And everything else seems to be working, so I'm gonna go ahead and go through real quick and show you guys everything that's working. And pretty excited the wiring's finally done. So I'm gonna start this thing up, it starts on a key now, everything. I'll show you guys everything. So here we go. Like I said, there's a couple little things I still got to button up, but the majority of it is good to go. Like I said, the headlights and the electric fan are coming on with the ignition, so I'm gonna have to get that part fixed, but here we go. Starts right up, purrs like a kitten. I got headlights. Got parking lights. Front. Rear. Windshield wipers. I gotta figure out where they turn off at, but dang it, eventually they'll turn off. Okay, I think they're off now. Nope. I'll sort that out later. We'll get them to turn off. So got turn signals. Left. Right. Brake lights are working. I can't really show you that while I'm walking around with the camera. I can't be stepping on the pedal. But I can show you too. Parking lights are on. Gauge lights light up. Volt gauge is working. Oil pressure's working. Temperature's working. The only thing, I still have to calibrate the speedometer, and the fuel level sensor is reading maxed out. So the fact that the fuel level sensor is moving, the tires are moving just a little bit even though it's a neutral, so I know that that's working. But yeah, thing runs like a champ. There we go. Wiring is done. Like I said, I got 2 or 3 little things I gotta address, but no big deal, and I still gotta clean up some stuff. I got all these wires I have to clean up and loom. I still gotta set the timing a little better, adjust the carburetor. I gotta permanent ties my battery cables, and can't get those off. I can get those off. Got to make my battery cables permanent and right, and just a couple little things, but I got everything all neat and organized and routed in here. I just have to hang it up down there. I wanted to make sure it worked before I did it. It's been a really long week, a really short video. Sorry for the lack of content, but I'm rushing really hard to try to get this truck done. Appreciate you guys watching. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time.